Pamela, it's wonderful to meet you. Thank you so much for taking a minute out today. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. I'm looking forward to getting into your story, but before we do, I want to know 5 years ago, this pandemic changed so many things about our lives and the way we live. How did you get through that era, and how did it influence your book or the way that you live life today?
Well, the COVID period made you reflect. You had actually time because we couldn't go out so much. And I was in lockdown in Paris. So it really made me rethink about my life because otherwise, every day we're on the go. So we never actually have time to reflect and sit. I have a child that is 12 now, so still was doing school. So I had to change my way of thinking, even for my business. I have a beauty salon. We had to close because the contact is too close to the customer. So even the job I couldn't do. So you had really time to reflect and actually see like, what does it teach me instead of what is happening to me?
So give me an idea of exactly what you do on a daily basis. I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of kids, 12-year-olds at a grade school. It's career day, and the kid in the back of the room is like, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" How do you answer him?
I have a beauty salon. I make women prettier and make them feel good about themselves. Then I work in real estate and I'm an author.
So, what did you want to be when you were 12 years old? What was your dream job?
I would say a lawyer, defense
Okay.
lawyer for kids.
So take me back to your beginnings. Where were you born and raised? What were these foundational elements of being an entrepreneur, of making people look good, writing, all of these aspects that have become who you are? How did this happen?
I was born in the Congo. I was sent away to Belgium from age of 7, promised a better life and faced abuse, racism, and I basically had to find my own and my own identity. At age of 12, I wasn't aware of actually what was happening, but I knew it was wrong. So I took my guardians, my uncle and my aunt, to court and then started a court case to remove my younger siblings. And I lived in an orphanage from age of 12 till 16 and started independent living with the help of the government. At age of 18, just before my 18, I got pregnant of my daughter. So I was a child actually having a child, even though I was more mature than most, but in your mind, you're still a child. And from there, I faced other difficulties and got married, 17 years together, divorced, single mother. And yet, I started my new business when I was going to divorce, the first separation, and I did not want to give up because when you miss something in your childhood, you have tendency to hold on to that more. Example, you weren't loved by your parents or a parent. You will seek that love into your partner, sometimes in a desperate way, because this was the lack and the trauma you kept from it. Other things can be abuse or people that have alcoholic parents and or they are against alcohol or they start drinking themselves. So everyone face their difficulties in a different way. But for me, one thing is sure, I always try, even though there are moments you're weak or you don't have the fight spirit as much, I never give up. And even if I fall, I will take the time to stay down there and not enjoy, but prepare what I will do next. And that's what makes the difference in the people who succeed and make changes in their life or people that stay and self pity themselves.
What gave you that strength? Who was an inspiration? Who was a hero that allowed you to overcome, to evolve, and obviously with your book to help others get through their struggles in life?
Well, my grandmother, I would say it started with my grandmother. My grandmother had 9 kids, and her husband, she's Congolese, her husband back in Africa had multiple relationships outside the marriage. And she was the first woman from the village to kick her husband out. Imagine with 9 kids.
Yeah.
So that's already a woman that you say like, wow, because with the culture, you know, it's more judged. People whisper because she would walk and you could see very strong woman, like a tribe woman, and she's still alive and still fights. And then my mother married a man, my father, that wasn't a very loving husband or a very loving father. So, and I still saw her fighting and struggling. She used to drive big trucks. So I would say from my mother's side. And then after, for me, a very inspirational woman is Oprah, because for me, she helped so many people. She also had a difficult background. You always try to look up, in my case, for people that inspire you that went through similar, because we can never go through the same. Even if you're siblings and you're living in the same household, you will experience your childhood different than your siblings. Even though on paper you see the same things, you still, your emotions, your people, some people handle more stress than others. It's just a fact, or they learned,
Yeah.
or it's just, their way of wanting the perspective you give to situations and to things.
So writing the book, having to revisit all of those memories, was how difficult was it? Like what, or was it cathartic at the end that you went back and dealt with it and put it into words? How did that work for you?
Well, it started like this. I wrote my book just after COVID. I really went into it. And I hired a ghostwriter to do it with me. And it happened to be the son of one of my closest friends, Joe. And what happened is, I told my friend, please, if you can't respect this, even though we are friends, you have to separate. You can give me that promise. So my friend betrayed me behind my back while having lunch with me, and she modified and edited my book in the Word document for 30 times. And the moment I realized is the moment I actually was reading, like, these words is not the ghostwriter. Because, when you have friends, the way they talk.
Hmm.
They have certain expression that when I was reading, and then I found, and I'm not a computer geek at all. I'm happy that I can send an email. I found out that she went 30 times and modified the book. So I removed the book back from sale and rewrote the whole book. And it took me 1 year, and revisiting each time, especially the abuse sections and the pain, even the things that makes you laugh from happiness. There are things and you want to forget them, even though they're still in your mind. And it's something really hard. It's like your biggest fear. Imagine you have a phobia of snakes, and I tell you, go in a room full of snakes. That's how bad it is.
Yeah.
And at night, I would wake up with fears, nightmares. Even though I'm an adult now, the little child that I was writing about, me as a little child, still has that part in my life till now. That often I have to say, Pam, this is not you as a child anymore. You're the woman. So you really have to dissociate, remove, the adult you and the child you, even though it's the same. But the adult now can't be depending on the child, the inner child that is still hurt. Because the inner child, I have to revisit myself as a child and say, it's okay, you survived it, you're here. Because even though you're strong, healing is a journey. There is not a moment you say, oh, I'm fully healed, because you can't describe that, or you cannot define it completely. You learn to live with it. You learn to change your mindset and act differently to it. But in the end of the day, you carry, your body remembers certain things, at least for my case. And I have other people who went to traumatic experience. If you're beaten up, the first reflex is to put your hand. It can be also a defensive mechanism, but when you had many beatings, it's something automatic you do without even thinking.
So it's been out for almost a year now, 11 months. What kind of responses? What's been one of the best fan responses or reviews you've gotten?
Well, it's been out and I removed it for sale. So it's recently from the 23rd of September.
Okay.
back online.
I got you. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
because my friend modified it, and that was the betrayal. And so I had to
Gotcha.
yes.
Okay. I didn't realize. I didn't know if that might have been in the editing process. So it's still pretty fresh out there. Um,
I
so
had a message today, actually. And a lady that I have met in Paris, we just talked and she bought the book and she saw one of the podcasts I did. She said, Pam, your story encouraged me. And she's in a domestic violence. She said, I took the courage to call the police. He been arrested. She said, thank you for speaking up and giving me that courage. And that's the whole point of, for me, writing, because everyone has the story.
yeah.
Even a friend that you know, some of them been through things they never told to anyone. My friends didn't know all the things I've been through because the sexual abuse, uh, that's not something you put there out there for everyone. But then I said, I have a responsibility. If I don't dare to speak out because there's still people unpunished who took advantage of me and abused in different ways, and they're still out there, and people are afraid of them, and some of the victims still face to face with them, and out of fear, out of shame, still prefer to say hi than standing up.
So, if you could meet anybody on the planet right now that you find inspirational, that's been through a journey of overcoming and evolving, and spend a little time with them that might help you on your journey, who would that be? Who would you love to meet and talk to?
Well, I have two people, so that's not a fair question.
No, that's fine. It can be more. It can be more than one.
I would say Oprah, that's for sure,
Yeah,
and Viola Davis. They're a very inspiring women.
yeah.
And
So,
actually, their book, when I read their memoir,
yeah.
said like, I can't, I can't just hold myself and not living my true life because I've been through things that it's a miracle. It's a choice as well to be able to be positive. It's a choice. I had a lot of reason to be angry and all the time in a bad mood or acting wrong towards people. But then they change who you are. So it's important that you find you again. And sometimes, I mean, we've been all our lives prepared to be compared. I mean, mold to compare ourselves and our value towards someone else. But it's not. You can learn from each other and you can uplift each other without being in competition with each other. And it's the same in business. I say when people say, oh, they opened a beauty salon next to yours, I say it's good for business, you know? And they say, but why? You should not be happy. I say, no, there is work. If you would deliver good results and the clients trust you, there is no competition. I'm happy to send them jobs and via clients and vice versa, because together we can make a change. And often we expect others to change, and yet we do not change ourselves. So it's a very conflicted uh, paradox, in a way of saying.
So, what is it that gets you up every day to do the work that you do, to keep evolving, growing, not only in a business sense, but your soul, taking care of yourself? What is that energy for you every day?
The energy is a new day start with dark and the sunrise. I see myself like this. I have rituals, meaning I wake up, I do my prayer, then I shower, cold shower. It's very good for the mind. You get that kick, even in winter.
Yeah.
Try it. You go to the gym, you connect your body, your mind, and your soul. So you can't only working on emotional level and then not taking care of your body because you will not feel well. It, you have to feed your mind. I read more before I wouldn't read. I take time to meditate and to reflect. And when things becomes overwhelming, before I would act on my emotions. And when you do that, you already lost from the beginning because you are not the master of your own life. It's your emotions and people that can change your mood along the day. It's the power you have. It's controlling your own emotion. You don't have to control how other people react. But if you control the way you react on it, that's where it is the difference. And that's where you have the upper hand, meaning no one can just come with their bad mood and piss you off because If you don't give them the power to piss you off, they can be screaming by themselves. They just will look crazy.
Yeah.
But if you start reacting, you're like a marionette, a puppet. In
Yeah.
English, you say it.
Yeah.
Yes. And you just move around depending on the people you meet.
Yeah.
So master your own. And by doing that, it's small things. I used to write little motivational post-its, like this colored, and I would put them on the mirror of my bathroom. Good morning, Pam. Look in the mirror and smile. It sounds ridiculous. But if you will start with the positive mindset towards yourself, first of all, you're going to radiant. I mean, you're going to just show that there is happiness and balance. Even when you come across a unhappy person, because not everyone is going to the same and not everyone has the same courage. And there are stages in your life where you feel lower than others. I do not judge anymore because I have enough with myself to work on.
Yeah.
And if everyone puts that little piece, life will be better. And just humanity, if you can help someone, that it's in business or in your personal life will be much easier. And you don't have to expect people to do things back, but you will get it in a way or another. And that's what I experienced. That is business or on a personal level.
So if you had a dream tonight, ran into the 18-year-old version of you, and you could give that young version of you a piece of advice based on this life you've lived, the wisdom you've gained, what advice would you impart?
Don't listen to others.
Yeah.
Do what you have to do and stop worrying about others' opinion and own your past.
Yeah.
You don't have to compare yourself with anyone
Yeah.
because you are you.
So of everything that you've accomplished and overcome and become in your life, what are you the proudest of?
Finding myself, Joe.
Yeah.
Finding myself and living my own. When you love yourself, and that's, people say love yourself, but what is actually loving yourself? It's being aligned what your dreams are. If your parents have a nine to five mindset in work, or they can't expect understand always if you want to become an entrepreneur, and that's okay. They don't have to understand it. You have to live your full path that you want to live. Whatever you do, I have my kid and I tell him, whatever you do, make sure you're the best and you want to be the best. And if you have people that are in competition with you, it makes you grow and it shows you like reinvent yourself if you want to make a difference.
So everyone has a perception of you, family, friends, clients, employees, everyone that gets your book, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I am a good person. I'm not perfect, but I'm a good person.
Yeah.
And when I do wrong, I put my ego on the side because ego is very good. You need ego for business. Otherwise, you don't take risk in life.
Yeah.
You need ego to do certain things. And yeah, I'm a good person. I'm hardworking and I do not impose what I don't like to others. But I would not tolerate anyone to impose me something that I would not impose them to do.
For sure. So, of all the places that you've lived and traveled on this planet, what's one of the most unexpectedly magical places that you've been to?
Magical places, Malta. I
Okay.
live in Malta now.
Yeah.
Yes. And they have a small island called Gozo.
Yeah.
And I just came 2 days I was there for 2 days. And it's like you disconnected from this world.
Yeah.
Before, I wanted noise, city life. And the older I get, the more I want quiet time,
Uh-huh.
less noise.
Yep. I get it. I totally get it. So, if anyone wants to pick up your wonderful book, learn more, reach out, any of the good business, how do they do it?
They do it, the book on Amazon, Mundele Diaries, and the Instagram is the same, Mundele Diaries.
Okay. I will put all
Yeah.
these links in the show notes. Thank you so much for your story. Thank you for your time. Best of luck with the release. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you.